Hello everyone, and welcome back to Wednesday here on the Pagan Perspective. I'm your host Eric. This week we are talking about snow and winter magic.
In times long past lived a man.
This week we're talking about snow and winter magic. Our question was brought to us by our very own Surfer Scissors. This is actually kind of a really interesting thing. However, I'm going to read it to you all, and it is kind of long, so you'll have to bear with the glare of my glasses here for a second. So, she says, I've lived in Alaska for a year now, and the dark half of the year is coming up. Very true. Although I've lived here before, my entire practice, with the exception of last year, was spent learning in the Southwest, and so she doesn't quite know how to connect with or even deal with practicing up there in the winter. She's used to being able to do ritual outside at night all year round. However, it's needless to say that she can't do that at minus 40 degrees. That's Fahrenheit for those of you who are across the pond. And it seems like all the buildings here are trying to block out all forms of nature, whether it's the midnight sun or in the summer or the minus 40 and the snow in the winter. She lives in a small basement apartment, and she does not have a whole lot of room to do ritual. To all of us who do live in climates where we actually have snow and winter-like weather, how do we stay connected to what's going on outside when the world seems to block it all out? Also, what are some other ways that we can specifically include snow in our practice? So, there's a lot in there. I may not get to it all, and I'm very sorry about that, but I am going to address a couple of things. One, 40 degrees is ridiculous. 40 degrees below zero is ridiculous. Below freezing is ridiculous. At any rate, yeah, I would not go outside a lot when that happens. However, one of the things that I would probably do to incorporate snow into my practice and the cold weather into my practice would be to, and this is for me personally because, as many people know, I'm very rune specific in my practice. I would probably use Isa and Hagalaz, which is the rune for ice and hail, to connect to the energy of the snow itself and the potential that is inherent in snow and ice, because snow and ice inherently becomes water. It's another form of water. It's a little less forgiving, I guess is one way to put it, than a nice cold cup of water or a body of water to immerse yourself in or something of that nature. But it is entirely accepting to be shaped, which water in general is not. And recognizing that and using the fact that the potential of snow and ice is a way for us to gain more of a balance with water. It controls us by giving us, sustaining us in our lives. But oftentimes water is not willing to be shaped or molded or worked with on a very personal basis. So one of the things that I would do in my personal practice would be to use those two runes and carve them into ice and carve them in, make them out of snow. And to understand that this is one of the forms of water and the potential of transformation through the cycle, recognizing that and then harnessing that power by quite literally shaping the water and then bringing it into my home and allowing it to take its natural, non-frozen form. That would be one way that I would specifically include ice and snow in my path. As for the not having a whole lot of space, I really liked Annie's suggestion on Monday. As of recording this video, it's Tuesday evening. I haven't seen Kara's video yet, but Annie had some really fantastic suggestions about using your altar space as a microcosm, and I would highly suggest that. If you want to bring snow in and set it in your corner for water, that would also be completely fitting. As for the grand gestures and all of the other things, I don't know if you can have incense and candles where you are. I would assume that you have the wherewithal and the know-how to use the space that you have as the entirety of the space that you need. I do live in a climate where actually it's probably currently snowing outside, and if not, it's been snowing on and off all day. Actually, it's our first snow of the winter, so bunny bear to those of you who know what I'm talking about. As for the buildings, if you really want to get in touch or bring nature into your space, I would say go out on a day that is not so terribly bitingly cold that you can wander, and bring some of the nature that surrounds you into your space, whether it be, a sprig of holly or an evergreen bough, or just rocks and trees and anything you can get your hands on that can take up a small space either on your altar or somewhere in a corner of the room that you're using. As for the full light and dark that you get in Alaska, part of me is not in the slightest bit jealous of that, and part of me really is, because it's a good way to solidify the understanding of the light half and the dark half of the year. So, I would say if there's a way that you can figure to take full advantage of that, I would say go for it, as opposed to always having to, let everyone else dictate whether or not it's light or dark in your space. Anyhow, now that I've rambled on for a while, I hope this answered at least some of your questions. If you have any more questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to post them in the comments section below. Hit that like button. We love to see it when you do that. Thanks everybody for watching, and of course, until next time, Odin be with you.
But on winter's nights to me you will sing, till the air around me starts changing. And on the noon of the solstice I'll give up my crown to the light and the mighty, O King. I'm the horn god, I'm the face in the trees, I'm the breath of the wind that rustles the leaves.